Hello guys, my name is Vinny and this is how you create the backgrounds inside Unreal Engine 5. The first thing you need to do is download the Epic Games Launcher from the Epic Games website. After downloading and installing it, you need to go to this tab here and then Library. And now you need to click this plus icon here. And here in this drop down you should select version 5. Now download the project files by going to the link in the description. Here you can set the value to 0 and then download here. After downloading the zip file and extracting it, you should be seeing these files here. Just double click this one. Now with Unreal open, go to Window, Load Layout and UE4 Classic Layout. Now to create our map, we need to go to File, New Level, then we can select Basic and Create. To start building our map, go to the Place Actors tab here on the left and select Shapes and we can drag a cube. Now to fly around the scene, we can hold the right mouse button and use WASD. Now to move our object, we can select which axis and drag. To change our gizmos to rotation or scaling, we can use E for the rotation, R for the scaling. The middle one is uniform scaling and the others are the other axes. So by doing this, we can already create a wall. Now to duplicate this wall, we can hold Alt and drag in the axis we want to move. To apply a texture to these walls, we need to go to the Backrooms folder. Then after selecting the Backrooms folder, there will be the Materials folder and then Wall. Now we can go ahead and drag this material to our walls. This material is triplanar, so we don't need to have UV maps on our model. By holding Alt and dragging, we can create more instances. Now we can go back to the Backrooms folder, Materials again, and select Carpet and drag to the floor. Now I will build a very basic example area so we can add the lighting. We can also hold Shift and select multiple objects, then we can hold Alt and drag. If you want, you can also select all these ones, Ctrl G. This will create a group, so we can now select and we will select all the models. Then we can hold Alt and drag. As you can see here on the right, all our models are also here. This tab is called Outliner and we can also hide and unhide anything we want. Let's go ahead and delete this directional light. Just click it here in the outliner and press delete. Now that everything is dark, we can go here, click this lit and choose unlit. Now we can see again our scene. Now go to the Place Actors tab again here on the left and click this light here. Here we can click this point light and drag. As you can see, we can't see the light affecting the scene because we are in the unlit mode. We can go ahead and go back to lit. And then let's duplicate this floor here should be our ceiling. Click the floor, hold Alt and drag. Now go inside the scene and go back to lit mode. Let's go again to the materials folder, and now let's open the ceiling and drag the ceiling to the ceiling model. Let's go back to the shapes. Let's look to our ceiling and then let's drag the cube. So as you can see, our scaling has some kind of stepping. We can deactivate that by clicking this blue icon here, and we can also disable the grid snapping here. Let's scale this cube down. That will be our length. We can also go ahead and set it to unlit so we can see it better. Now go to the materials folder again, select emissive, and then drag the emissive light material to this new cube. Now we have this model with emissive material, but if we delete this light, you can see this is not affecting the scene because it is just a material. We need to create a light actor so under this model so we can light up the scene. Let's do that by going to the light tab, and then this time let's select the rectangle light. Drag it here, then press E and rotate it. Let's drag more to the top and position this better. When you click this light here, you can see there is some options that we can change. For example, the width and the height. And also the angle. When adding the lights, make sure to click the light and always set it to movable. Now we can click both actors, which is the light and the cube, by holding Shift and then Ctrl G. Now if we select the ceiling and select the light again, both will be selected as it is a group. Now we can hold Alt and drag this. Always be careful with how much lights you add because the scene can become very expensive. So if you want to edit the lights again, you can select the group, then instead of Ctrl G, you can use Shift G. This will ungroup our actors. Of course, we can change the color of our light by clicking it and then going to the details panel and changing the color here. You can also disable these gizmos and icons by clicking G, and if you click G again, it will show again. If you want, you can also change the color of the material of this light, but first you should click this light material, right click, duplicate, then we can change the color of it here by enabling the color, and then change the color to also be blue. Now drag the material to the cube, and now we have a blue light here. Now we can click the light again and the cube, Ctrl G, and then we can delete this one, yes all, and we can duplicate this blue light. Let's go ahead and add some effects to our scene. Let's go to our outliner here, then we can select this atmosphere, sky atmosphere, skyline, sky sphere, and the volumetric cloud, and we can delete this. Let's go to our exponential height form. Let's drag down here in the details panel and set it to be volumetric follow. We can see it is very intense, but we are going to adjust this later. Now let's go to our place actors tab here and search for post and drag a post process volume. Now after dragging it to the scene, we can go to the details tab, drag down and select infinite extent unbound. If you can find this option, just go to the search option here and search for unbound. Enable unbound. Let's clear this search here. And then now we can adjust the scene and add some effects and color correction. Let's first adjust the exposure by going here to exposure and exposure compensation. Enable both mean brightness and max brightness and set both to 1. Now we can go to the compensation value here and add 2. We can also go to the chromatic aberration here and add a bit too. And now we can go to the window tab and enable the world settings tab here. And then in the game mode here, we can click this knob and select the first person game mode. Now we can go ahead and click play here, and we can walk in our scene. Now let's edit all our lights at the same time by going here to the outliner and search light. Then we can select the first light and shift click the last light. Let's use the shift G. Now they are not groups anymore, and let's select again by clicking the first light and the last one. Let's change to the details panel, and then we can change the indirect lighting intensity here, which is the global illumination. Let's try 5. We can also change the intensity of the lights. I will set them to 5. If you want to add custom textures, you can go to the wall material, for example, duplicate it, right click, duplicate, then double click the material and you can change the textures here. Let's save our map by going to File, Save Current Level. Let's choose our folder, Backrooms Maps. Let's add a name. Let's make this scene better by going to the post process and adjusting some values. Another thing we need to do for dynamic scenes like this one, as we are not going to bake lighting, we need to delete the build data of this map. Go ahead to where you saved your map, in this case it is in Backrooms Maps, and delete this build data and first delete. As you can see, it cleaned some lighting information. I will increase the intensity of the fog a bit more here to 0.1. Now to import custom models, make sure you group your scene. In this case I am using Maya, but it could be any other software like Blender. You will also need to have your model in separated pieces. Then you group it, and after grouping it, make sure to center the pivot and centering the object to the world before exporting. Remember, Unreal uses centimeter as the measuring unit, so export the model in centimeter. After you drag the model to your folder, this window will pop up, and here you should set the build none and import all. And then we can select all our models, and then we just drag to the viewport. After importing it, we just need to do the same process we did here with this simple method. If you like this video, please consider leaving a like and subscribe, and if you want more tutorials, let me know in the comments section.